welcome to today's curiosity about hair. So I just washed my hair yesterday and I figured I'll do an updated hair routine. It's very exciting because I finally figured some things out. So today I'm going to show you how you can go from washing your hair every day, every other day, to only washing it once a week. So this all started because I was postpartum with my first child and I had so much hair loss. Like I really felt like I needed to do something different to my hair routine. So this is what I do. It's just a routine. So you could just like keep all your existing products or not if you choose. I'll tell you everything that I use and how I got to this point and how I'm not greasy. So some background, I'm actually a really oily person and I like start looking very shiny after only about a few hours. And so I really have to do a lot to like set my makeup so it doesn't run with the grease that I make. And also, so that means I'm really greasy in my scalp. And so I've struggled with hair care my whole life in the sense of like I didn't know what I should be doing and what should work and what doesn't work, especially when it comes to Asian hair. And so I really wanted to tell you what I discovered this year of experimenting so you guys can reap the benefits. I'll walk you guys through like my 7-step shower process for washing my hair. And then at the end, I'll also tell you some like good tips and other things you can do to have healthier hair. So some background, I'm Asian, I have Asian hair, it's thick straight. So actually it looks like amazing volume right now because I just washed it. And I use a volumizing shampoo. I'm not sure that does anything because it always looks amazing on the first day post-wash, but I'll show you guys some videos, B-roll of how it looks like after a few days. High school me was a fool. I would wash my hair every other day or every day because I was in sports and I would get really sweaty really fast and I would just look like a mess, right? Like I don't want to look so oily and my hair had no volume to speak of. And I was using herbal essences. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but it's just like was the bare minimum of washing my hair and conditioning. I would buy the matching set. And I just like realized now there's a reason why everyone loves Redken and all these other fancier high-end brands for hair care is because they actually have better ingredients in those shampoos and conditioners. So I'll talk about what I'm using now in a second. So high school me, I would wash my hair every day or every other day, and then I would like towel dry it rough and like really do all of that mechanical stress and wear and tear on my wet hair, which is the most fragile hair. So of course, like so obvious why I ended up with like lots of flyaways and split ends, right? It was all that stress I put on it when I was towel drying my hair roughly. And so now I've put together a bunch of knowledge and this is my routine now. I went 7 days without washing my hair because we just had Thanksgiving and I just did not have the time or the energy to wash my hair when I was at my parents' house. And so I came home and I washed my hair and it felt heavenly. So here's my routine. Normally I go 4 to 5 days before I wash my hair and I don't end up looking like a grease ball like I did back in high school. And so step 1 is I would dry brush my scalp. So I would take my Tangle tweezer brush. This is the fine version where like the bristles, there's fewer and also they're way softer. And it was great. I would just like rub it. And you can see in the video that actually I tried it with this other one where this is the normal version and the bristles are a little bit more stiff And it actually was like kind of difficult using the small version. I really much prefer this bigger version if you're gonna dry brush like I do. It's just like it's faster and you get more of your scalp. And I'm not sure if you can see, but it's like the tiniest bit curved. So I learned not to rest my brush on the table like this now. I do this so I'm not bending the bristles. So dry brushing your hair, I start in the front because that's usually where I start seeing a lot of flakes. And no, it's not dandruff. It's just like literally your skin flaking off because that's what your scalp is, except there's a lot of hair growing out in between. And so you'll start seeing it look like it's snowing, where when you're brushing it, all these flakes are coming out. And try your best to brush everywhere on your scalp because everywhere needs this dry brush for exfoliation. So when you go and do the shampoo and conditioner, you're actually washing all of these dead cells off of your scalp so it doesn't build up with additional products and everything that you put on your hair and scalp later. Next step is your first shampoo. So right now I'm using the L'Oreal Bond Repair set in this like salmon pink color, packaging. I have the shampoo and I have the conditioner, and that's all I have from this line, but there are additional products that you guys can look into. It is sulfate free, but they do use like sulfate type ingredients to really like clean out your hair. Actually, I use 2 different shampoos because I'm trying to like make this set last longer. But it actually didn't even matter because my conditioner is like already down here and my shampoo is still up here. Like I still have double the amount, even though I'm using double the amount of shampoo. First step after the dry brush is your first shampoo. In this time, yesterday, I used the L'Oreal Volumizing shampoo, but it doesn't matter. And if you're first starting out this routine, I recommend using a clarifying shampoo that is totally clear and it really helps get rid of all this buildup that you've had forever, right? So I like the one from Dove that I got in the set with the Dove Intensive Care shampoo and conditioner set. But you can use whatever you want that is clarifying. Just make sure it is a real clarifying shampoo and you're not falling for like false marketing and it says it is, but it's actually not. I don't hate on sulfates, so I use whatever shampoo that seems to be cleaning me really well. And so whether that's sulfate free or not, it doesn't really matter to me. You do want some sort of sulfates to help clean your scalp properly, and they are not the devil. So like do your own research and look into that. Okay, so with this first shampoo, you use like a good amount. So what I like to do is I squeeze out about 2.5 inches wide of shampoo, and it ends up looking like this on my palm. I have a very small hand, but you get the idea. I dab it with my other hand and I make sure I'm like spreading it. I dab it onto all parts of my scalp. So I wash my hair upside down like this because I try to conserve water whenever I'm in the shower. So I'm only getting my head wet. I get it wet and then I dab my shampoo on and then I'll like scrub. So you really want in that first scrub to do a really good job because you just dry brushed all of these dead scalp skin cells and it's just like hanging out right here as you saw. So in this first shampoo is gonna feel really weird because it's not lathering, and that's normal. If you watch other like hair care videos, you'll hear this double shampoo method, and that's the method that I'm using. You do your best to like scrub. Normally I have really long nails and I like scrubbing with my nails, but actually I found out that you just need to scrub with like the little pads of your hands. At this point you can use a silicone like hair scalp brush thing. I have one of those, but it's just like I can do a really good job with just my hands, so I haven't really been using it, but people do swear by them, especially if you find it difficult to like reach all parts of your scalp, start with one of those silicone hairbrushes in the shower with the shampoo. That can help you like really get down to your scalp instead of you're just like doing this, right? You're not like massaging enough. You might not be actually rubbing the shampoo for a long enough time. You might be missing some spots. You know, like you only wash right here, but you never get the back of your head, you know, especially the part that lays on your pillow. There's all these things you want to do when you're shampooing. You want to shampoo for a long enough time, and you make sure you're getting your entire head. So don't forget, like right here at the side and the back, and right here where it meets your neck. So then you want to do a really good rinse with just warm water. Another mistake is people often start like finger combing their entire hair, and that's like the biggest mistake you can make, because shampoo does not act like a conditioner in the sense of if you start finger combing, it's gonna get more and more tangled, and then you're just like ripping your hair apart as you're trying to force all these tangles out. Like, don't even worry about it. You're just gonna have a lot of shampoo right here, and then you're just gonna rinse it and ignore all the tangles. We're gonna do a second shampoo. So this is when I go in with my bond repair shampoo, and I only use about a quarter size. So that's 1 inch wide. You're just gonna do a quick squeeze and close. You only need about a quarter amount for this second shampoo because you've already shampooed once. So the second shampoo is gonna feel so delicious because it's gonna make an incredible amount of lather and foam and bubbles. It's gonna be so much more fun as you do this second shampoo. So in this second shampoo, you're really gonna feel the lather, and as you go through, it's gonna be so much easier to do it. Just make sure you're really lathering and shampooing like a long enough time like you did with your first shampoo. Okay, next step, we're gonna go in with our conditioner. This is when I use my bond repair conditioner, and I squeeze a lot. The thing about this conditioner is it's gonna be very thick, and so it's gonna sit up in like a thick little pile after you squeeze it out, and I use about like 1.5 inches, and then it is like a little tall little mountain of conditioner. At this point, like my hair is wet and my head is still, you know, like hanging up, and I'm applying it to only like here. I start at the ends, I pat it in, and I work my way up. And then I don't even go anywhere close to my roots because your scalp doesn't need conditioner. So that's another mistake I see people make a lot, is people put conditioner on their scalp, and your scalp conditioner, that's not what it's made for. It's made for the dead proteins in your hair shaft here. And so it does nothing for your scalp other than make it feel greasy and like build up. So make sure you try really hard not to get any conditioner on your scalp itself. Only do like here down. Another issue is people are putting on conditioner when their hair is like soaking, dripping wet. So you do want to make sure you're like gently squeezing out the excess of all the water before you apply the conditioner, so you're not diluting your conditioner so much and you're really trying to get it like soak into your strands. You want to like gently roll all your hair and put it on your head so it's not like fading away in the shower. This is when you really want to have a hair clip in the shower so you can like claw clip your little bun with conditioner, because you want to make sure you let your conditioner sit for like 3 to 5 minutes. The longer the better. Obviously you don't need to go anywhere longer than like, 5 minutes. And at this point, this is when I like to wash the rest of my body. And so up to this point, I have not gotten my body wet because I'm trying to conserve water. So every time I'm just like lathering and I'm waiting, the water is off. And I'm not like wasting gallons and gallons every minute. So I turn on the shower, I wash my face, I wash my body, you can shave, you can brush your teeth, you know, like all these things that you can do while the water's actually running, you can do while you wait for your hair to condition. And so I wait about like 3 minutes. I timed it one time, but it's like 3 to 5 minutes that it takes me to like wash my face, wash my body, and all this stuff. So then what you want to do is rinse with cold water. So what I mean is your hair is very fragile when it's wet, and it is also very easy to fall out because it's a hair follicle, right? So you want to have your muscles contract from the coldness of the water. So obviously nobody likes a cold shower, so what you can do is just turn it lukewarm, but you definitely want it on the cold side to force your body to have that constricting reaction, which does not happen unless you feel cold, right? When you rinse with the cool water, it's going to be really nice. So what I like to do is finish my body wash and finish everything and then do the cold rinse. And I try really hard to just like rinse the ends of my hair, but then at this point I'm like finally standing upright and my head is upright and I'm just rinsing it off my back. It does make the shower really slippery, so make sure you're not like falling after the conditioner rinses out. Then we can move on to getting out of the shower. So at this point you're dripping wet and you're about to grab your towel. So what I like to do is I get all of my hair and then I fold it into thirds because that's how long it is. And I do a gentle squeeze. Try really hard not to treat it like a hand towel or whatever, and you're wringing it, right? Do not twist. Whatever you do, do not twist. It is not a hand towel. You don't do this because this is how you break the strands of your wet hair because it is the most fragile at this point. And so what I do is I just gently squeeze from the top to the bottom, and it's folded so it's easier to squeeze since I have a lot of hair. I know not everyone has as much hair as I do, so. And then I do it again while I have my bath towel. I wrap my bath towel around my hair and then I do another squeeze. So you're trying your best to like squeeze out all the water gently before you use a hair towel. So this is my Aquise hair towel. If you buy it, it looks different than this because I had my mom modify it because I was getting so annoyed at the design that it has. But the fabric really is something special. So I just had her take out the scrunchie, and it's more like a turby twist, if you remember that from like forever ago. But that's what I grew up with, was the turby twist. And then I had her add this little elastic. So what I do is I flip my head. My hair is like really wet at this point. And then I put it in the Aquise hair towel. So this is way easier to do when your hair is wet. And, you know, like get everything in there. And then you're just gonna gently squeeze. This is when you gently twist, I mean. And you're trying to squeeze all the water out into the towel. And so the fabric of this towel is really special, where it really does wick away water. And this is the point you have to be really careful about. You don't want to like pull so tight and back that you're ripping the hair out of your scalp, right? So just, I do a little like off to the side so it's not pulling straight back and ripping my hair out. And then I take my elastic and I put it on. So I wear my Aquise hair drying towel for about 10 to 15 minutes. It really depends on, you know, like how long you want to try to squeeze dry your hair for. Obviously, don't wear it for like forever. Like don't wear it for an hour. That's not going to help you. You do want to take it back out because your hair still needs to air dry. If it's stuck in the hair towel, it's never going to dry. So you do want to make sure you set time aside to do that. So while the hair towel is on, I like to do my PM skin care routine and brush my teeth. So I brush my teeth first and then I do my skincare stuff. And by the time I finish that, it's been like and I put lotion on my body. It's been like 10-15 minutes, and then I take my hair, the Aquise hair towel off, and then I go on the rest of my night. So like I spend some time with my family and then I go to sleep. By the time that sleeping time happens, it's been like an hour of air drying my hair. And that's all it takes when you use an Aquise hair towel or some sort of hair towel to really like get out the water in your hair. If you don't use an Aquise or hair towel, then it's gonna take much longer and you're gonna probably end up blow drying your hair so it dries in like a reasonable amount of time. Also, I don't know how long it takes other people to dry their hair because I have fine/medium thick hair, and I do all these steps to get all this excess water out before I try to air dry it. So I really recommend air drying your hair because it's the least amount of damage and there's no heat involved. And you have to do all these things before bed anyway, so just let it hang out and air dry. And I wake up the next morning and it looks like this. Obviously, this is when people do their last step, which is style. I don't really do any styling because I'm a busy mom and I don't have time for that. I just throw it into a ponytail or a lazy bun. So I do like a low bun or a high bun depending on how hot and annoyed I am. And so I just do this. I just do heatless curls basically with a bun. I end up having what looks like very little hair, but it's actually a lot because it's so long. And it's, I cut my own hair. So it is like a taper, it's layered lengths. And I have like very little hair at the bottom. There's just a few layers that are really, really long to give it like dimension and looks like it's really, really long, but actually only some of it is really long. So this all started because I was postpartum with my first child and I had so much hair loss. Like I really felt like I needed to do something different to my hair routine. And I'm so glad I started this experiment when she was about, 6 months, because that's when the postpartum hair loss really hits you. I feel like I've really turned my hair around, and here are the benefits. Here's the Rosie report. We'll start with the roses. So what's great about this new technique I just talked about, the double shampoo and really taking the time to dry your hair with no heat. It is, number one, you wash your hair less often, and so you're saving a lot of money when it comes to buying the shampoo and conditioner, especially if you're like me and started investing in nicer, higher end shampoo and conditioner brands. So right now I'm using L'Oreal, but it originally came from the other parent company in the same, L'Oreal conglomerate, Redken. So I feel like splurging one day, I'm gonna buy the Redken Bond Repair set. And of course there's also Olaplex that everyone uses, but not me, because I finally figured out a technique that works for me. Rose number 2 is your color, if you're like me, is going to end up staying much longer because you're washing your hair less frequently. I don't know if you know, but water is the number one reason why your color is fading. It's because, you can look into it, but basically every time you wash it, you're washing away your color. Rose number 3, with the dry brushing that you do, you're actually increasing circulation to those cells in your head, in your scalp. And so you're going to have better hair growth. And so it might explain why I'm not having split ends ever now. I cut my hair once a year and I have no split ends. And that's also probably because I'm not rough towel drying it like I used to, like I did in high school. And rose number 4, I've now, after a year of doing this, finally started seeing less oily scalp. Of course, there could be like many other reasons for me not being as oily since I'm getting older. You know, that's one of the reasons, but also it's only been a year, so it couldn't have been like that drastic. It must be because I changed my hair routine, because my face is still very oily, you know, when I put on my makeup and everything. So I do know this is working for me, and that whole like super viral thing about you just need to train your hair to not grow oil. Apparently, there is some merit to that. So I did manage to get it to work for me, but it took like so much longer than what everyone said. So for me, I didn't really start seeing the oil production decrease until like a year and a half in. So we're in a year and a half now. My baby is 2. And I was still like super oily just a few months ago. So I don't know, maybe there's like something that magical that happens after a year and a half. So last thing is you're gonna have much faster showers because you're only washing your hair 2 times a week or 1 time a week if you can stand it. And so that's just great for like water conservation since we are still in a drought. If you live in California or, you know, wherever else there is a drought, you know, and I think that's just also time back that you get when you're not spending it in the shower, like washing your hair and doing all these steps. Some bad things about this new routine that I do. Obviously, no one likes a cold shower, and thankfully that is only like 2 minutes of your cold shower time. The rest of your shower can be like warm. I still don't recommend like a really hot shower because that can make more of your hair fall out. I forgot to say, like, you get less hair loss because this is the whole reason why I started this, is because I was experiencing a tremendous amount of hair loss with postpartum. So that was rose number 6, I forgot to say. Okay, another thing is when you do actually wash your hair, it just takes so much time. And so because it takes so long for you to be in the shower, then you're also taking a lot of water. So be sure to like turn off the water whenever you're just waiting around. And if you get cold easily because you're all wet, then just wash your head, not the rest of your body at that time, especially the double shampoo step, like I said. When it comes to the dry brushing, I can see like some people are gonna fight me on that and they're gonna be like, no, don't do that to your head. But if you're willing to do it on your skin and dry brush your skin, then this is the same concept, and like, why are you not willing to give it a shot? You just have to be more gentle, right? Like you're basically teasing your hair, but instead of like a teasing comb, you're using a wide brush. You just need to be careful you're not like ripping your hair as you do the, you know, back and forth in the teasing. So the last thorn is it will take you a long time to see like less greasiness and results and to make you feel like this is worth doing. But I do think the immediate benefits of like showering and washing your hair and saving time and all of that, it is enough for me to keep going until after 1 year you really start seeing some of these benefits. Then I hope you keep it up. So some additional steps you can take to have healthier, more beautiful hair. Number 1 is use a hair oil or a leave-in conditioner. I have not like dived into this that much since I am and always will be an oily person, but definitely start trying some hair oiling towards like the middle to the bottom of your hair. Maybe just start with the last few inches of your ends and see how that really helps you, and if you want to continue and invest in that. Another thing is you can start sleeping with like a gentle twist like Abby Young recommends, or in a hair bonnet. I can't even like manage anything at night because I like to sleep on my back, and so my hair is just up and out. Some people really recommend having like silk hair pillows, but I just use like a high quality cotton pillow and that has been fine. Do remember to switch out your pillowcases because that makes a huge difference, especially if you're hair oiling at night or using other kinds of hair products. If you notice like here or anywhere else on your scalp you start having some like painful pimples and things like that, you definitely need to switch out your hair pillow more often and pillowcase more often, and think about like changing your routine so you're not having all these like harsh things sitting on your scalp and irritating your scalp. Something I highly recommend that I have been doing is deeply exfoliating your scalp with the ordinary glycolic acid. Doesn't have to be the ordinary, but I like the glycolic acid from them since it comes in a huge bottle and it's very like cost effective. However, they have raised their prices recently and now it does come in a smaller like mini size bottle. So you might want to look into that. I also have a glycolic acid whitehead like power serum essence thing from CosRx. So you can just like use any brand you want. What I do is I take it and I squeeze it in as thoroughly as I can without soaking, like my hair down. You just want it to sit on your scalp for about 20 to 30 minutes. If you're doing this for the very first time, I recommend only 15 to 20 minutes because I, for the very first time, did experience like a burning sensation. And so definitely listen to your head and stop and rinse it off if you start feeling this like hot burning sensation. Everything was fine, but I'm just saying it was very scary. So if you're using acids for the first time, definitely like listen to how your skin reacts and stop and rinse if you need to. And then you like build up your tolerance to it afterwards. So I like to do, people recommend like every week, but that's like way too often because I only wash my hair like once a week or, like 3 times every 2 weeks basically. So I recommend every 2 weeks or every month. I prefer every month because you have to take like 30 minutes and wait for it to sit and then like immediately go wash it when the time is up, because you don't want to let this acid sit on your scalp for too long since your scalp is one of the more sensitive parts of your skin. But I highly recommend exfoliating. I think that is the step that really made a difference in my hair routine that I didn't even mention, but it helped control the oil much better because you're like taking all these steps to reduce the amount of sebum that your skin and scalp is producing. So the same thing on your face. If you're trying to reduce the oil production, then you do have to incorporate some sort of exfoliating step. And the step that I talked about is manual exfoliation. And so you do want to incorporate a chemical exfoliator like glycolic acid if you want to make a bigger, more noticeable, faster difference. That's the same thing with your face skin. If you're only physically exfoliating, it's just not going to work as well as chemical. And another thing is what you can do is start dry shampooing, but dry shampoo properly. So the proper way to dry shampoo is like, for example, I just washed my hair yesterday. You want to dry shampoo today and like every day up until you wash. I did notice when I did that it made a lot of buildup very fast. And so I can go like a full week if I'm dry shampooing every day, but I did look very greasy and like a lot of things were here by the end of the week. And so if you can just train your scalp and these cells to make less oil naturally, then you're not gonna need to dry shampoo as often. So the mistake that I see people doing is they're waiting like 3 days, 2 days before they're dry shampooing, and by then you already look greasy, and by then it's like too late. You want the dry shampoo to already be there as you're slowly making that oil. And so that's the proper way to dry shampoo. I like the ones that are unscented. Unfortunately, the only like one of the few brands that are like readily available so far is Not Your Mother's unscented dry shampoo, and it comes in 2 different starches. They make the regular version, which I believe is cornstarch, like the same in your pantry, and then there's the one with tapioca starch, and then there's a bunch of other things in it and propellants since it's aerosol dry shampoo. but the aerosol does make it like spread more evenly, especially if you have like black hair like me. That does make a difference. I would stay away from the scented stuff because if you're like me and sensitive to fragrances in the sense of like they give you a headache, then that's gonna be really hard to sleep at night. So what you wanna do is dry shampoo at night right before you sleep. So when you wake up in the morning, your hair already looks really good, right? Last pro tip is you want to, like hair oiling, you want to deeply condition your hair regularly. And the last time I did it was like never. So, okay, I must admit it must have been like 2 or 3 years ago since I deeply conditioned, used like a conditioning mask on my hair. And look, still no split ends. So that's good for me, but also I should probably deep condition my hair. I am thinking about a video about a new technique to how to do it, especially since I saw cosmetic chemist Javin Ford, I think that's his name, where he talked about how most deep conditioners or leave-in conditioners are fake and they don't actually do anything for you because you're doing it wrong and like the way that you're using it is wrong. And the best way to do it is if you are adding heat or something else to it, and so it makes a bigger difference. And so I came across a Korean video that talked about how to use hair masks more effectively by using heat. So if you're interested in that, I'm planning the video right now, but hopefully it's out soon and you can check it out. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and give me a thumbs up if you liked it. Leave me a comment if you have thoughts and questions and comments, especially if you've tried decreasing your hair oil production and it worked out or it didn't work out. Let me know what you did and we can start a conversation. But more hair videos to come, of course, more nail videos and other things I'm obsessed with. I'll see you in the next curiosity. Okay, gotta try not to look like a mess. All right, it's stuck. Okay. All right, so